Howdy, this is Cryptic Grinding back again with an Arena Cutoff video for Marvel Contest of Champions. Today I'm going to cover round 1 predictions for the new Ghost and Void arenas. So the first thing I always like to do is categorize how I think these arenas, or what kind of categories these arenas fit compared to past arenas. And when it comes to feature arenas, really there's two categories for new champs and old champs. Ghost, she's clearly a new champ. It gets a little bit more interesting though when we deal with the 4-star basic arena. There's basically 3 groups. There's old, or I should say low interest for old champs, mid interest for newer champs of the 4-star basic, but maybe not like the top level demand, and then high interest. Think Medusa and Blade, and I think Void is going to be another high interest. There aren't many high interest 4-star basic champs these days. It's kind of like I saw one person put in the comments, 4-star basic arena champs are so 2017, and I agree with that sentiment that, 4 stars, it's definitely a for players that have been in the game for some time. 4 stars aren't the top of the roster anymore, but there's still new players being added and progressing rosters, so there's still a place for them. So with that being all said, I think Void is going to fall in that high interest. So now that I've categorized these, let's take a look at some recent results for these type of arenas. First, starting with that 4-star basic high interest. Really, there haven't been that many again since the 4-star basic arena has been introduced. Really, you're looking at that group right here. Maybe Thor Ragnarok would be included because it was over 3 million, but basically for the most part, the high interest 4-star basic champs, first round cutoffs, and this is for the veterans bracket, they're always over 3 million and closer to 4 million, with Blade pushing it over to 5.3 million. Now, when we look at new 3-star feature champs for the veterans bracket, first round cutoffs that is, you can see they're anywhere from 1 to 1.1 million. So I think that's kind of like the status quo really is at 1.1 million. Then we look at the 4-star feature, not basic, but 4-star feature new champs. You can see that there's a little bit more variety here, and most recently, and some blame the overheating issues that the app causes on different mobile devices, that there's been a slight decline over the last couple of weeks, but for the most part, you're talking anywhere from 12 to 14 million. And then there's even more variety when we get to the 5-star new feature champs, where you can see where the low side, again, most recently, maybe because of the overheating issue, maybe just some fatigue with arenas, whatever, or maybe just not super chance for people to go after. But we've seen a slight decrease. But anywhere, we're talking 40 to 50 million in general, but it's probably closer to like 42 to 48 is that typical range. And you do have the exceptions like Wasp on the low end with 37 million and Iron Man Infinity War at 55 million. So these, looking at the trends, looking at past arenas results, that's one thing I always like to do when coming up with my first round prediction. But I also like to take in consideration the input from you, the community. So I always post out on my community section of my channel questions, polls, if you will, related to the arenas that I think are going to be the most interesting in terms of their cutoff. And with this round, the first, of course, is the 4-star basic Void. And I asked, I asked the community, what do you guys think the cutoff will be in? And over 700 of you took the time to vote, and I really do appreciate that, because again, it's kind of half of the process for me to coming up with first round predictions. But anyway, you can see that most folks, there wasn't a strong majority one way or the other, but most folks thought it would be 3.5 to 4 million, and the next group being 3 to 3.5 million. So if you combine those two together, you're looking over 70% thinks the cutoff is going to be at 4 million or less, and a lot of those think it's going to be right around 3.5 to 4 million. When I took a look at the comment section, so those folks who voted, who put in a little context behind their vote, and I thank you again for those who take the time to do that. Kaiser Ren does a good job of kind of summarizing what I've seen from a lot of people, and he says 3.8 at the absolute lowest, probably not past 4 because of the iPhone overheating issues. Void is one of the 5 really useful science gems and the absolute best target for Science Awakening gems. So a common theme that I saw from a lot of folks that thought Void's going to land somewhere between 3.5 to 4 million. One of the best science champs, if not best science champ, but overheating issues isn't going to let it get to be a Blade level kind of thing. Plus, I think there was also an underlying theme of he's really good for longer fights, maybe not the most bursty chance for short fights kind of thing. But when I took a look at what the thinking for some of the other ranges. First, let's Ponce Academy on the lower side said could be higher if not overheating issue, and I did see a number of folks mention that they're still running into issues with the overheating of the game, and that could and you saw some of those trends for some of those other arenas, specifically the 4-star and 5-star basic, or sorry, 4-star and 5-star feature arenas. We saw lower results than normal, so maybe overheating really has an impact. But then also Jim Milsom on the higher end thought that he's a God tier champ, and a lot of people will not have him at all, but a few will have him, but not duped. And having Void duped is an important part of it. And I saw a lot of people say that is he gets so much better when he's duped, so that you may see more people trying to get the dupe that may already have him, but not duped kind of thing. So thanks again for everybody who took the time to vote, and especially those who put some context behind their vote in the comment section. Now the other arena that I'm most interested in is the 5-star feature Ghost Arena. And as you can see here, 388 of you took the time to vote. Thank you very much. With most folks thinking it's going to be on the higher end, so that 40 million plus kind of thing. With the biggest, but still not a strong majority, 45 to 50. But combining the 40 to 45 and the 45 to 50, you can see that's over half. That's 70% actually think it's going to be over 40 million. And when I took a look at some of the comments, Krish here had, you know, from the higher side, she is a new debut champ, and we don't know all of her abilities and utility till now, so most likely the cutoff will be high. So Krish is, and I saw a number of other folks kind of provide this, whether in the comment section, in the community section, or some of my other related videos, that there's just not a ton known about Ghost right now. She wasn't given out to the content creator program creators, including myself, so we didn't get a chance to do any testing of her to put the word out, if you will. So still a lot of unknowns, so that may push the numbers, and a number of people felt like, you know, so that means people don't know that the champ's not that good, so it's, you know, it's going to be kind of that typical number where it's going to be above 40 million. But on the other side of it, Revan says, I'm going a little lower, and it's mainly due to the heat issues and also complete lack of content creator program and a lot of unknowns. So Revan took it from the other side that, you know, because there's not a lot out there, a lot of known information, there's no hype really out there for people to spend the time to grind to go up and get Ghost. Plus, you've got the overheating issue. So it's probably a good combination of both opinions there. So anyway, thanks again for everybody who took the time to vote, and a special thanks out to those folks who put some context behind their vote in the comment sections of those polls. So thanks again. But anyway, considering the input from the community as well as looking at the trend analysis, here are my thoughts for the first round predictions for the veterans bracket. Ghost, the 5-star feature Ghost on the left here, I think the cutoff for her will be around 41 million with a top 10% at 11.5 million. Jumping over to the 4-star feature Ghost, I think we're going to be looking around 12.5 million with a top 10% at 4.2 million. For the 3-star feature Ghost, I think we're going to be looking at 1.1 million with 11 to 25% at 525. And lastly, for Void, I think you're going to have to go to 4 million. I was kind of going back and forth between 3.9, maybe even 4.1, but anywhere between 3.1 to 3.9 to 4 million. I think that's really going to be the cutoff range here, given, you know, and obviously I try to get within 5%, 5 to 10% is my target. I think that's kind of where I think the cutoff will land, with 11 to 25% shard tier at 1.6 million. Now this is the cutoff. This is again within 5 to 10% for the veterans bracket. So I always like to kind of give a grind target to give yourself a little buffer just in case any of these arenas really outperform and go much higher than expected. So if you really want that 5-star feature Ghost, go to 44 million. 13 million for that 4-star feature Ghost, 1.2 million for the 3-star, and 4.2, maybe even 4.3, 4.4 for that 4-star basic Void. And these grind targets as well as predictions are for the veterans bracket. When it comes to the beginner and intermediate bracket, not a ton of data to do any trend analysis against always, but I do like to give a rough ballpark number to go after based off of my own personal experience. Again, this is, you know, almost a year ago now, but at least plus some anecdotal information I get from the, you know, here and there a little bit from folks in the community that give me their updates in the comment section of my videos. Here's some numbers to consider. First, for the beginners bracket, meaning your account's been open for 1 to 30 days. 3-star feature Ghost around 245, 250,000. 4-star Void at 1.2 million, and the 4-star feature Ghost at 1.2 million. Jumping to the intermediate bracket, meaning your account's been open for 31 to 60 days. 3-star feature around 550 for that 3-star Ghost, and for the 4-star basic Void, 1.2 million, maybe 1.3 million. For the 4-star feature Ghost, 1.3, 1.4 million, something in that range. Again, these are really rough ballpark numbers. My advice always, especially for the beginners, if you're in these earlier brackets or you've got a newer account anyway, you want to grind as much as you can, because worst case scenario, you're going to get the champ, maybe put a little extra time in, but you're going to have arena chips, and you can never have too many arena chips, whether it's for alliance donations, buying arena crystals, whatever the case may be. It's going to help your roster progress. So anyway, these are my thoughts for all the different brackets and for the first round for these arenas. Would really love to hear your thoughts. If you have any questions, throw them down in the comment section. I will be with a little bit spotty availability over the next couple weeks, so if I don't get to every comment or question out there, I do apologize beforehand, but anyway, would still love to hear it anyway as I get a chance to check those from time to time. But hopefully you found this information useful. If so, we really appreciate it if you click that thumbs up button, and if you like this and other videos I have on the channel, would really appreciate it. Subscribe. Thanks a lot for stopping by, and have a great day.